Hello, welcome back to the 2-hour news show. As we were actually mentioning in the first hour of the show and also in the beginning of the show, today on March the 8th, we celebrate International Women's Day. And we'll take a look at this year's theme and issues that women are focusing in 2025. This year's theme of International Women's Day is Accelerate Action. It highlights the need for quick and decisive steps to achieve gender equality. The campaign addresses the systematic barriers and biases women face in their personal and professional lives.
Accelerate Action is a worldwide call to acknowledge strategies, resources, and activity that positively impact women's advancement as well as to support and elevate their execution.
However, significant barriers to gender equality remain. Yet, with the right action and support, positive progress can be made for women everywhere.
Beyond celebration, International Women's Day serves as a crucial platform for highlighting the challenges women face, from workplace inequality to barriers in education and political participation. It is a time to reflect on the ongoing struggle for women's rights and to push for a more inclusive and equitable society.
We gather today not just to celebrate the International Women's Day, but to move forward, resilient, united, and unwavering in our pursuit of, and I quote, equality, development, and peace for all women everywhere in the interest of humanity. End of quote. Those are the first words of the Beijing Declaration. Women's rights are under attack. Centuries of discrimination are being exacerbated by new threats. Digital tools, while brimming with promise, are also often silencing women's voices, amplifying bias, and fueling harassment. Women's bodies have become political battlegrounds, and online violence is escalating into real-life violence.
And to commemorate International Women's Day, we will delve deeper into the current state of gender equality worldwide with IPSOS Research Director in Indonesia, Dini Islami. Dini, thank you so much for joining us today here in See Today. And also, before we start, Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you. Happy International Day to you.
Thank you, of course.
Well, we've been focusing on the International Women's Day every 8th of March. So it has been quite a while, but in your point of view, what is the most pressing issue or pressing problem that women are facing at the moment in terms of gender equality and also, I don't know, possibilities that they could actually face in their accord?
Yeah. So actually, about the issue that we are currently facing, I would say it's a bit lesser than before. I could see some progress in a sense of where we are having more gender equality in terms of the workplaces, in terms even in the government sectors. So I think it's more positive outcomes nowadays.
Yeah. So you can say that we're going into the right direction, right?
Yes, correct.
All right. So here's the thing. There are 6 findings that we can learn from the IPSOS Global Survey. Now, since you're here, can you tell us more? And since the results look very optimistic, you can say, right?
Yeah. I think, I understand that it's very optimism. I could see that actually it's quite optimistic in terms of the survey that we're having right now, especially when we're talking about gender equality. Like I mentioned before, we can see there is some progress in terms of the attitudes on how we actively promoting about gender equality. Also not to mention about how the government effort and also the businesses effort in maintaining the gender equality. That is also, we see that is quite positive impact to the society. That also leads into how majority of people thinks that equality is now very important in the market. Even though when we are trying to see from different segments, of course we still see some difference gap between Gen Z women and men.
Okay, so There are 6. The first one you were mentioning already, signs of progress and attitudes toward gender equality. The second one, gender gap among Gen Z persists. Oh,
Yeah.
So can you explain to us a little bit more about the second point? Because this seems to be not adding up for me, as well as I could see in the public, in the social media,
Yeah.
most importantly or mostly, Gen Z could be quite more, what should I say it, realizing on how important equality is. But
Yeah.
this doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, correct. But it's actually specifically on how we, Gen Z sees men who are staying at home. Specifically, men staying at home is a bit less as a man.
Okay.
So that's kind of the perception that is quite the significance gap between among Gen Z. But when we are looking into other perceptions, I mean, talking about the same informations, but when we are comparing to other segments, it's actually not really different. So only among Gen Z, they still feel that gender equality is important.
Yeah.
However, they still feel that if a man is staying at home,
Yeah.
doing women's work at home, it's still a bit less of
Double
men.
standard much?
Yes,
I
correct.
guess. Okay.
Yeah.
So the
Okay.
third one, majority say equality is important, but fewer than half think significant progress is likely.
Yeah.
What keeps this away? What keeps the equality away of its significant progress?
Yeah. So I think because when we look back into the past 3 years at least, yeah, we can see that we can see some progress. But I think when we are trying to forecast into the next 5 years, it's actually not really significant. Meaning that there still needs some effort to ensure that that kind of gender equality exists, not only in certain sectors, but I think across different sectors as well. So that's why there is findings on this one as well.
Now, let's focus on the fourth one. Perception of tensions between men and women highs with younger age groups.
So what kind of tensions are we talking about?
Yeah. So actually, it's also quite similar with the previous one.
Yeah.
About the older one, the older segment, it's actually they are saying that between women and men is quite difficult to have kind of gender equality in a sense of maybe because of the culture that they're having previously compared to the nowadays.
I see.
So we're talking about the boomers or baby
Yes,
boomers.
baby boomers.
Oh.
I mean, that's too big of a gap for boomers and Gen Z,
Yeah.
right? That's why
Correct.
they don't mix well.
Yes, even though among boomers and different segments, actually they are not really denying about gender equality, but in a sense of when they are reflecting to themselves is no, I cannot really do that kind of a thing.
They're keeping it real. It's like, no, doesn't work for
it's not
me.
keeping it real. You're keeping it double standard once again. Yeah, we're kind of like realizing in somewhat way, going into the fourth point, that the double standard is actually there.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you can't really put something into your own preference, but other people should go to the other direction
Yes.
Yeah.
that needs to be seen as a ideal way.
Yeah.
So wait, so the double standard doesn't only happen amongst boomers, but also amongst Gen Z.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Exactly.
So that's why the older one and
Yeah.
the younger one,
Yeah.
they can they have that kind of double standard.
I see.
Okay.
So number 5, more optimism about the future for young women
Well, we like
than
this
for
one.
young men. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
So that means my future is not no. I'm not young anymore. Almost 40. But anyway, can you explain to us more about this?
I think across 30 countries that we conduct the survey, most of them is mentioning that when we are talking about potential in the future, younger female is having better future in a sense of because of the gender equality as well.
Okay.
And then also in terms of the paying more for the female
Oh.
compared to the male. Yeah, but I think that kind of findings is really based on the perceptions coming from
Okay.
different segments. But
I see.
in reality, it doesn't really mean translated positively in that way.
Okay, although this has been a survey, as you've been mentioning before, you were also mentioning about how the numbers would actually increase in the future for women in workplaces. Is there any certain number, like how much that it would go up from the existing numbers?
At least when we are comparing between the current state
Yeah.
and then the forecasting into the
Yeah.
next 5 years ahead, it's around 2 to 3% increase in terms of the gender equality and how people perceive on the importance of gender equality itself. So I think seeing into that, even though it's not really significant, but I think it's still progressing.
That's a
the most
progress,
important
yes,
thing,
yes.
yeah.
For those of you who might not know, a lot of workplaces would actually differentiate the pay from based on gender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So women and men would have different type or level of numbers when it comes to their wage.
Yes.
And
Correct.
also, when it comes to that, so that means the number would still be below men workers.
It's really difficult to say that, because especially even though when we are talking more on the gender equality parts, it's increasing in a sense of the way workers or organizations see females or approaching females in a more positive way. But it's too early to really mention that in
Okay.
the future females will have higher wages in.
Or probably just in the
Yes.
same level.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
still not seen, not
Yeah.
foreseen
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
And then number 6, many think gender equality efforts by government, businesses have been positive for society.
Yes. Yes.
How can you explain more about this?
Yeah, actually, this one also correlates with, how should I say, the connection between gender identity and leadership. Because even there is some saying that organization who puts strong identification among women leadership is actually having the opportunity to have like more sense of belonging, and then also more proactive approach, also shared values, where within the workplaces it's also giving the possibility to have more equality, more inclusivity, more diversity. So that's why we see that from the survey, it is there is some findings where when organization or government is having more female or more women, it could have a positive implication towards the society.
So it's better if we have more
Yes.
women in the office.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. So now IPSOS Research studies that attitudes towards gender equality in 30 countries. Now, can you give us the figure for Southeast Asia?
Okay, so actually comparing to the global one, Southeast Asian is, I would say, more optimistic.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because like
Oh.
we can see the figures, right? 76% for Indonesians, 75% for Thailand, Malaysia, and Singapore is around 58%.
So
Meaning
we're the
that-
highest one.
Yes, we are
Yeah.
the highest one. Even when we compare to the global list, it's actually we are the top one.
Yeah.
And then after that, followed by India and other countries. It is actually saying that when we are talking about gender equality, it's in Indonesia, it's significantly higher than mentioning that they believe the gender equality is happening in the market. So that's why in the beginning we also mentioned about the being optimistic,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we can see the figures from the Southeast Asian markets as well.
okay. And also, I read as well that 59% of respondents agree that more women in leadership would improve how things work. How does leadership and gender identity connect in this case?
Yes, it's very interesting because, of course, we believe there is a connection between gender identity and leadership. Yeah, at least on the aspiration side, where women seems to have more communal approach, as I mentioned earlier, and also
Agree.
Communal approach.
Yeah.
And also because of that, it could lead into a positive culture among the team, where they would be really open to share more things, and there will be more collaborative approach in a sense of, that's why there is a positive connection between gender identity and leadership.
Okay, so before probably just this has been my question in my head. Please do not come for me after this.
Okay.
I just want to know. What is actually why is there any ladies parking? I just want to know.
I don't think it's related to gender equality part, but I think more women is having kind of not so good parking. In sense of that's why-
Ability to park.
Yes.
Okay.
I think, having a ladies parking is not necessarily related to the gender equality.
No, because
It's been bugging you, right?
it's been bugging me because it's not fair for me.
Yeah,
It's not equal for me. I could get the parking in front of the entrance as well.
So the ladies get the best.
No, I was just
the best
joking, by the way.
parking spot.
Dini, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
This has been quite eye-opening. The findings that we need to see that the numbers are actually not lying.
Yeah.
So we need to know and we need to acknowledge that gender equality, like or dislike, could have a bigger opportunities for the world to actually flourish. And also,
Yeah.
you were mentioning as well about the workplace,
Yes.
how women can actually bring more, I should say, motherly approach when
Yeah.
it comes to communal sense type of way. And also, we are waiting for more studies
Yes.
Yeah.
on gender equality, especially in the International Women's Day, because I do also believe that opportunities should be equal for
Yes. Yeah.
everyone, regardless of the gender.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for having me.
And we are going for another break. After the break, we'll bring you more. See the cooking segment. So this is actually another gender equality. Doesn't mean that men can't really cook. I will cook. So
That's
keep it
right.
here on the Torah News Show on See Today.
I think we also have a same right like man, woman and man is equal because of we can work and then we can independently. Moreover, nowadays every woman have to work because they have life too.
I think in the modern world, this is proof that our society is modern right now, and then the equality of the men and women must be fight for. And I believe in my workplace right now, woman has proof that their workspace they afford to strive in the industry. That's all.
Yeah, because I think women should have the same opportunity as men, and nowadays we have so many potential that women have. So yeah, I really think that the opportunity that women have should be enhanced.
For me, I think it's for opportunity to grow in many industry. I think women should also could try in many industries. I think there's no such limit as women or men in field. I think we could all try it at least.
I think it's very important to be for both to the same. Yeah, we have this in my country too. So why not here too? Yeah, so stay free. You're born free, so you're living free. And it's for women and men, it's all for me the same. Yeah.
Udah waktunya ya, zaman bertambah maju, berarti wanita juga harus maju. Gak selalunya laki-laki di depan, perempuan juga harus bisa. Dengan banyaknya, apalagi anak-anak sekarang ya, dengan kemajuan medsos segala, ya harusnya disamain ya, zaman emansipasi ya. Udah dari tahun 80-an zaman emansipasi udah ada, berarti sekarang harus tambah lagi ya. Karena pintar bukan buat laki-laki saja, tapi pintar juga wanita. Wanita lebih hebat daripada laki-laki kalau saya.